So I'm working on a couple of different things. The first thing I'm working on is I'm working on my second book, which is a sort of it's a cross between a sort of handbook for students and a sort of introduction to monastic meditation that has my own sort of spin on it. And the kind of pitch for the book is that when we think about mystical experience or meditative experience, we often think about it as like a vision that just comes to us, right? So like poof, all of a sudden you have a vision of like Jesus or the heavens opening up or whatever it might be. And the book is about how in the 11th and 12th centuries, meditative and mystical experience, especially in male monasteries, was very hard work. So it's about the work that it took to have meditative experiences and mystical experiences. And it's about the sort of struggle that was involved. So it's essentially about the techniques that the monks used in order to get through that struggle. It's about the emotional experience of that struggle, the discouragement, the doubt, the skepticism, sort of all the things that we don't necessarily associate with monks, who we think about as just like having it easy in terms of their religious belief, like coming to sort of understand that their religious tasks were important as something that was just sort of a given for them. This book is sort of about how it wasn't like that. So the difficulties basically in monastic belief.
Mhm. And you said it was like a handbook for students?
Yeah, so there's like a genre of book. There's sort of like very short monographs, but they're cheap enough that you can assign them for classes. They're in more libraries, so students can sort of access them as they're sort of like the Cambridge Companion to X, right? The Oxford Handbook for Y. This is sort of like that, except it's on a more specific topic in the Middle Ages. So it should be something that, my students could read pieces of, certainly something that like scholars who are new to monasticism or new to meditation could read to sort of orient themselves, that kind of thing.
Mhm. Are you working on anything else this semester? Anything new? Besides that?
So I've got a couple of other things happening. So Professor Steinberg in the philosophy department is creating a volume on humility throughout sort of time. And I'm writing a chapter for that book on monastic humility, on humility in the monastery in the 11th and 12th centuries, both for women and for men. So that's another thing that I've got going on. And there's one of the nice things about being online is that, scholars are now able to attend talks and sort of have discussions with each other, even though they're far apart. So we never before would have been able to attend seminars in Montreal, right? Unless we were invited to speak. But a bunch of scholars who work on the history of emotions have started a seminar that's, based in Montreal, even though it's on Zoom, a seminar on the history of experience. So sort of questioning how historians can reclaim lived experience of people. And so the seminar starts, it's like a seminar for professors, basically. And the seminar starts with theoretical texts, and then we all present one aspect of what we do through the lens of the history of experience. So I'm going to be giving a presentation on the experience of monastic meditation, sort of coming out of my book project, but using this sort of theoretical lens to talk about how we can reclaim the lived experience of monks meditating, not just the sort of how-to prescriptive experience of it.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool. When is it?
Yeah. When is it?
Yeah.
It's October 30th. October 30th from 9:30 to 12:30. So it's something. I don't know if they're going to be recording the talks or whatever, but if they are, I will definitely share them with the BC History Department.
Yeah. Do Do you think you have more time now to focus on like your own personal research, or is it all just like so? Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think we all, I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I feel like because we don't have any commuting time, right? Or
Mhm.
because I don't have any commuting time, I'm doing more. Like I'm going to more meetings, I'm going to more events, because I don't have to take like the 45 minutes that it would take me to get there into account. And so because of that, between the stuff I'm doing for school, the teaching that I'm doing, and then just sort of managing my daughter's remote learning and stuff like that, there's very little time for my own research. But I did manage to squeeze in 2 hours this morning, which was really nice. And then I went to LAMEM, which is the late antique, medieval, early modern professors faculty working group, and then talked for an hour and a half with them about medieval Islamic thought. And so I feel like really refreshed and like I spent the whole day doing research, which was really nice.